Next, we're going to turn things over to our Matron of Honor. Let's hear for Amanda.
Okay, I'm stuck on a charger. Hang on. Abby? Okay. All right. Whoa. Okay. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Homeland Security for making this night possible. Okay, I'm gonna keep this short because I hear and I have seen over the last couple weeks that the Davises really love to party. In 1998, my teacher tasked our second grade class with writing 3 important facts about ourselves. After much deliberation, I wrote, I have a dog, my name is Amanda, and I have a big sister. These 3 facts remain true today, but my childhood adoration for Ashley was rarely reciprocated, and this led to somewhat of a tumultuous relationship. Some days she would play Barbies with me for hours on end. Other days she might cut out a chunk of my hair right before school pictures. And every day she reigned over her closet like a tyrant. I lived in a constant state of fear that she would find out I wore something of hers. Sometimes, though, we would set our differences aside and band together for the greater good. And this is how Ashley taught me that she's a terrible partner in crime. There was the time Ashley decided she was sick of abiding by the Dennis and Susan's rules, and she convinced me to set out for a life on our own. She was 11 with $12 to her name, and she knew of a tree fort that we could squat at for a while. Our plan was foolproof. All we needed was our bicycles, and the only thing that stood in our way was the garage door. Silently, we slip out the back door, and just as I begin to taste our freedom, Ashley trips, and in slow motion, I watch our plan shatter with the garage door opener. We were left with no choice but to go back inside, do our chores, and live out the remainder of our childhood under the iron fist of Susan and Dennis Orr. As the years went by, Ashley continued to be a great role model, and eventually she would take our much younger siblings under her wing and also teach them that she's a horrible accomplice. I was on the way to my mom's one day when Ashley called me. She said, "What are you doing right now?" I tell her. She says, "There are houses to be egged. Meet me at the church." I oblige. I pull into the parking lot to find Ashley, now an adult in her mid-20s, with Andy and Abby in their early teens warming up their throwing arms. I hop in, and after grabbing a bunch of eggs, Ashley lays out the plan. As we pull down the street, she slows to a crawl and has the 3 of us hang out the windows and light this house up. Sorry, Mom. We get about 5 houses away, and her car just dies in the middle of the street. Ashley says something like, "Oh no, not again." At this point, I realized that Ashley knowingly hatched this entire plan with a jalopy for the getaway car. It felt like an eternity as we waited for her car to decide to start again, and it was at this point that Ashley decided she was unfit for a life of crime. Fortunately, through her career, she'd develop a love for public safety, and this is how she would meet. And this is how she would meet her knight in shining blue armor. It was at It was at DTW where Ashley would first set her sights on Michael Davis, and soon their relationship would take flight. A year later, these two lovebirds were headed to Niagara Falls for their first of many vacations together. It was on this trip that Ashley would fall for all things half Canadian. The Detroit River, Niagara Falls, Tim Hortons, and Michael Davis. I distinctly remember Ashley telling me she was in love with Mike after this trip, but it would take her several more months to break the news to him. It's been 6 years since then, and Ashley still lights up the same way when she talks about Michael. Ashley, I've always admired you for your generosity, your sense of style. This wedding's beautiful, just saying. Your dry humor and your adventurous spirit. I'm so fortunate that I've never had to live a day of life without you as my sister. I'm so happy you were able to find Michael, who amplifies all of your great qualities. Mike, you've been family to all of us for years at this point, as my dad said, and I'm so glad it's finally official. You are respectable, hilarious, and really, really great at cornhole. I look forward to making many more memories as you introduce me to fun things to do while we drink, like the slack line and Beersby. I knew you were the one for Ashley when you began to randomly handcuff her to her back belt loops at family functions. This is the life she deserves. Although Ashley is a terrible partner in crime, I know she'll be the best partner in life to you, Mike. I love you both so much, and I'm positive you will have a very fun marriage full of laughter. I've decided to leave you two with 3 facts that I believe will stand the test of time. After much deliberation, I settled on these. You have a dog, you're madly in love, and you are the Davises. Please join me in a toast to this insanely good-looking newlyweds, to Ashley and Michael Davis. Cheers.
Let's hear it one more time for our matron of honor, Amanda.